Welcome, welcome, welcome. Special New Year's Eve short show of the Pound for Pound Boxing Report. I'm your host, Michael. Joining me today, Boxing Beats and Rhymes. I'm Dan the Man, Charlie Brown from Charlie Brown Boxing. What's going on, fellas?
Yeah, man. It's all good. What's happening, Mike?
What's going on? What's
Hanging in
going on,
there, man.
Mike?
Hanging in there. What we're going to do is What's going on? What's going to do is do a quick rundown of the boxing kind of end of the year special that they do in Japan. Going to start with fights that took place yesterday, to be specific. Main event of that, Naoya Inoue fought a guy by the name of Boyo, French guy, destroyed him in 4 rounds, knocked him down four times. Uh, I'll go to you, Charlie, and then you, Dan the Man and Beats, if you saw the bouts. Your reaction to the way Inoue pretty much bodied this guy, not just the fight itself, but the news that's come afterwards that it looks like Naoya Inoue is moving up to 118, where a possible fight with Zolani Tete, to be specific. Uh, we have a chance to see that in 2018.
Yeah, first, well, the fight yesterday, I think a lot of people were kind of reading into the fact that he was gonna fight somebody of, I guess, somebody's a real strong opponent to finish out the year, and I kind of knew from the beginning he wasn't gonna finish the year on that kind of a high. So I was what he did yesterday in the ring was pretty much routine. Yoan Bayu wasn't really there to extend him the distance or anything. So I thought it was a good win, but I'm annoyed now a little bit because now instead of waiting out to fight Sisuke, he could have tested his skills with Khalid Yafai, possibly, somebody else in that division. He's deciding to go up to 118. Now, I know he is young, and I understand he's 24 and he's probably still growing at some point. But that the best fight at that weight class was him and Sisuke. So he should have just or even if he would have awaited to see if Estrada beats him, that would have been good, because it would have been like a part unification fight and set them up for bigger fights down the line. Now he's moving up into a division with Yamanaka, Ryan Burnett, Zolane Tete, and I just really, I'm not too confident about his chances going up to bantamweight, to be quite honest. I like Naiwa in a way, but the victory that he had over Antonio Neves wasn't really an inspirational win. Didn't really make anybody a believer. And I guess everybody was still sort of, I mean, it was spoken about that he'd go up to bantamweight, but I didn't think he'd entertain the idea. So I'm not really happy with him at the moment. And I don't think it's a good move for him, because bantamweight is way different. I know it's only 4 pounds, but it's a complete different class. I mean, he is quite tall, so he should be able to handle himself, but I'm not too, in terms of the top 4 people in that division, I'm not greatly confident, including Yamanaka. I'm not greatly confident about his chances in that division.
No, I'll go to you, Dan the Man, and then you, Beats. Your reaction, not just to the fight, but to the news about Inoue. I particularly want your thoughts, Beats, about him possibly fighting Tete, a fighter that you and I think very highly of.
Who's that now? Me or Dan?
You can go. You can go, Beats, and then Dan the Man can follow up.
Okay. Boyo, which is how they say that in Wales, not French. I know someone's gonna say he was great. He was a great fighter, and I don't understand a lot of weights. How do you stay at super flyweight for so long in all the fights? You haven't fought Estrada, you haven't fought Gonzalez, you haven't fought Cuadras, you haven't fought Sisuke. Right? There's something like he's becoming a hype job. I'm sorry, right? You had all them fights at super flyweight and didn't fight none of them guys. Not even Arashi Warren or something like that. And then he's moving up with all these guys making that division the hottest division right now. Now, if he had said I'm going to move up directly and I'm going to fight Tete. Now I've got a direct line next fight. Then I say, okay. But no, he's good. You know he's not going to take on the likes of Tete next fight or probably next year, right? Eddie Hearn will probably protect Ryan Burnett, right? So that division ain't as hot as the other one. That division took so long to build itself up to be hot. They had to install Roman Gonzalez, whether it was engineered as number one in the world, and you don't fight. You had a guy who was the number one in the whole sport, and you didn't try and fight him. You didn't try and fight all the other hot fighters in that division. Them guys made that division hot. You defended that belt since 2015 against people nobody knows, and I've like a lot of people have boosted this guy up, and no one's brought his credentials, into scrutiny. But I think it's time now. I think it's really time now. I'm starting to think this guy's a hype job. And I know someone's probably, no, you see, you don't know nothing about them weights. I'll accept that, but I don't really care. Narvaez, and I'm not really sold on it. I'm not really sold on it. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm not really sold. So that's my take on that guy right now.
Your thoughts, Dan? I'll mute your mic.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this. I'm in agreement with Charlie here, and I agree with Beats' points as well to some degree. I just think that anyways, I really am highly of him. I know some of you guys here might beg different. I think highly of the guy. I think he's highly skilled. He's definitely got the goods. He's definitely got some flaws here and there. I think that would be probably due to the fact that no one's really quite pushed him yet, as you want to call it. He has some formidable challenges, such as Armand Navarez. I know people are going to come at me for saying, "Oh, Navarez." I mean, that guy was pretty old when anyway fought him, but Navarez was the big favorite to win that fight. He was a long reigning champion at junior bantamweight, as a fly, and Navarez was the favorite to beat him, so he took him out in 2 rounds. And credit to Inoue, he was the only guy to KO Navarez. At this point, he's the only one. Of course, Solana Tete may change that narrative when they fight each other. So I expect Solete to get him out with probably relatively ease, but we'll see. But like I said, maybe we probably being a little unfair to the guy because there have been fighters that would really were reluctant to fight the guy at Superfly. I think one of those guys is who was it? I think it was one of those guys as a mandatory. I forgot the guy's name, but forgive me here, guys. I'm trying my best to keep up with the little guys. The guys below 122. I mean, below 122. But go ahead. Go ahead. You want to say something?
I was going to say, I hear where Beats is coming from, and he's right to a large extent. It is disappointing.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go as far as calling him a hype, but it is disappointing for sure that he's not staying around at that weight. To be fair, that Superfly card, Inoue wanted a unification bout against the guy Ankanyas, who just fought over in the UK, and his people, and mainly Bob Arum, turned that bout down.
Right.
But yet still, you got these other fighters around, and it would have been nice to have him stay around for a little bit longer to see what happens between SSR and Estrada, and see if they can
Right.
see if he can fight the winner. I
Yeah.
do find some comfort that when asked about his future afterwards, he did mention Tete by name, and he said he was willing to go to the UK to make that fight happen. That's the only acceptable substitute for leaving the division rather quickly.
Yeah, you know what? Here's the thing too. Let me comment on this real quickly. I'm very disappointed too because there's a lot of names at super flyweight. You got Estrada, you got Kudras, you got Gonzalez, Calify. Even though I'm not really quite high on him, but he's still a champion. Can't totally dismiss him. You're in Akancas, I'm sorry for butchering his last name. Pacquiao's fighter.
That was the guy that
Ankaya.
that was the guy that Inoue was wanting to fight on the original Superfly card, but his people turned the fight down. Akanya turned the fight down.
See, there you go, and that's one of them. That's actually, I think that was the guy that I wanted to mention. So you got to give Nui a little bit of slack there on that. He's trying to make the big fight in to certain degrees happen, but at the same time, I don't. I just think that the move is too soon. I think he can still make 115 comfortably. I don't see him having any problems making 115. I think he can still make the weight. It's just that I especially wanted to see him against the Sestisa cat from Ramsay because that's a big unification bout that people wanted to see. I just don't understand why are you making this move too soon? I don't. I mean, look, bantamweight is a damn good division too. Don't get me wrong. That's a damn good division with a lot of heavy big hitters there. You got Ryan Burnett. You got ZZ, who's still a good contender over there. Rasheed Warren, but the problem with Rasheed Warren is that he's not quite active though. Then of course you got Zolani Tete, the big devastating puncher up there. So he's going up against some. I'm sorry to say this, some mean dogs up at bantamweight, much bigger, stronger guys. See, the thing with Anui is that he's so used to bullying guys at one, either a junior flyweight or
Junior
super fly,
bantamweight. Yeah.
junior bantamweight, yeah, junior bantamweight or junior flyweight. Okay, when he started his career when he first won his title there. So I just think that okay, look, it's admirable that he's taking it. He's going up and trying to take to take on bigger guys. But to me, though, I just feel that he may not be able to get his way with those guys up there, like he's doing right now, the super flyweight, and then the division below him.
Also,
So,
as well to add to what you're saying as well, that the fight against Antonio Neves, that was his like US debut, right?
right.
And we see that was his time to shine, and he was outdone by obviously it was he was the he wasn't the main event, put it that way, but still that was his time to shine and show people what he was made of, and that put a lot of people to sleep. That fight, it didn't really inspire a lot of fear into anybody or anything like that. So I don't see how, based on that display, I know he beat this Yoam Bayu guy, but really and truly, I don't see that. Bantamweight is a very dangerous division,
Right.
and I don't see him beating Tete, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
I see Tete knocking him out violently, to tell you the truth, and I see Tete becoming a force at bantamweight now. It's kind of like what they're doing with Sisaket as well. You know what I mean? I'm sure Tete will have to fight everybody. The only thing for me, I think he's gone up to bantamweight as well. They'll probably try and make the fight with him and Shinsuke Yamanaka. Now,
yeah, that's probably what they're doing. That's probably what they're going to do. I agree, because I think that would be, to me. I just going to comment to that. I think what they're trying to do is that they're trying to get a big money fight, and that will probably be the biggest money fight in Japan. And that will definitely draw a lot of money there. So that's probably what their goal is. And perhaps what they're probably going to do is, okay, we'll take that big money fight, maybe a couple fights at bantamweight, they come back down. That could be a possibility what they're going to try to do.
Okay. Going to shorten this again. Was going to have multiple fights, but I'm going to shorten it to two because folks are pressed for time. But on a bit of a side note, in this discussion about Inoue, we've talked about Zolani Tete, who's going to be fighting Navarre, I believe, in February. I'll go to you, Beats and Charlie specifically, because this is kind of in your neck of the woods, for lack of better phrasing. Frank Warren has tried to make a unification bout with Ryan Burnett, who holds 2 belts at 118. Has there been any progress on that?
No, he doesn't want part of it. Ryan Bennett don't want no part of it. And Eddie's also protecting Cal Fire as well from
yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah, so he's protecting
expect next year to be a dry year for Matchroom, other than I won't talk about those guys, but other than the other guys in the other weights, he just hasn't displayed. He was meant to fight Roman Gonzalez, and now would be the right time for Cal Yafai to take him on. As he's had 2 losses, 2 back-to-back losses, it would be the right time. And like I said, like Beat said as well, there seems to be a reluctance to even speak about the fight. Regarding Ryan Burnett, like I said, he's another one. He just scraped past Zakianov. I don't actually believe he beat Zakianov. Maybe I need to see the fight again. I thought it was very, very close. Inside, he was doing a lot of holding.
Maybe scraped it. Maybe. Maybe.
maybe.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of holding. That's what my thing is, that there was a lot of holding. He didn't look particularly good. He didn't look particularly good against Lee Haskins. I know he is young, but he's 25. You know what I mean? I think a lot's being made because of Adam Booth, and I'm not sold by him. I think that the moment he steps up, they're not going to make the fight with Tete. They don't want that. I think he's in no man's land at the moment. I think a
Well,
lot of people will beat him.
Eddie's holding all these guys to like ransom. They're gonna have to pay them ridiculous money, which isn't around at them weight divisions for the likes of Callier fight to take on Chocolatito and for Burnett to take on Tete. I mean, like what kind of he's looking to, break all types of records down there for them to get paid for it. And nah, come on, man, no. He's talking like Ryan Burnett is some pay-per-view star that he can hold people to ransom, and he's not.
No, he's not. And I think it's about the brand. I think he's thinking about his legacy more than his fighters' legacies. Does that make sense? He's thinking about the Matchroom brand. I like Eddie, but he gets a thumbs down for me at the end of the year. And I just think coming into 2018, it doesn't look good. So I know every dog has its day. He had his year. He was the best pound for pound promoter this year. But going into next year, based upon his management, the decisions he's making as a manager, I just think he's bad. I think he should hire somebody in there, or maybe his dad should come out of retirement, formulate some management company so that there's not a conflict of interest, and manage all these fighters properly like he used to manage the fighters before. But because they're not being managed properly, and I don't predict a very, very good year. I don't want to go into another story because I know we're pressed for time, but it's not looking good. The way he's sort of shooting down even the Okoli and Chamberlain fight as well. And we've got other stories surrounding it with Vahara Davis and what have you. It's not looking good for Matchroom already, to tell you the truth. And we're not even into 2018.
The Nui bout that took place, that took place yesterday in Yokohama. The other bout of this dual mega cards in Japan I want to focus on took place today in Tokyo. Unification bout at 108 pounds, junior flyweight, WBA, the IBF belts on the line, as Ryoichi Taguchi scored a 12-round decision win over Milan Malindo to unify the WBA, IBF 108-pound titles. I don't know if everybody saw the bout, but just from my analysis, it was a first half, second half bout. Malindo started off very, very sharp. Had his weight over the first half, but you can see over the second half, he started to get fatigued. My worry about Malindo coming into this fight were cuts, and that played a role as he was cut. It was a very bloody bout. Both guys were cut. And for me, over the second half, it was the size and the activity of Taguchi, who for once used his length in this fight to score the advantage over Malindo in the second half of the bout. 116, 112 were the scorecards. Oh, excuse me, 117, 111, all in favor of Taguchi. For me, I thought the bout was a little bit closer because I gave a lot of credit for what Malindo did in the first half of the bout. For those who saw it, or in reaction to my thoughts of the bout, your thoughts, please.
All right, I'll go first. Well, I saw it. Well, 117, 111 is about right. Possibly it should have been 116, 112 or 117, 112, but I don't think they draw rounds. So 117, 111, I think was about right, actually, to tell you the truth. I did say this yesterday when we spoke about it, and EJ was there. EJ said that Taguchi looked shot, blah, 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 blah. And I said, nah, I always felt that Taguchi was kind of at a crossroads in his career. And the thing is, he hasn't lost since 2013. He lost very early in his career. He's been on a winning streak for the last 4 years. Carlos Canizales. I just knew to myself it was going to be like he's in the last chance saloon, and he was going to make I mean, the Ota City General Gymnasium, that's his hometown. You know what I mean? He's from Tokyo, but that's the stadium that he fights in. And he's won every time he's been in that stadium, he's won. So I just knew he was going to win. And he went through the motions. Yeah, he didn't start the fight very well, but he finished the fight very well. And now it's gonna set him up for a unification with Kenshiro, an all Japanese. Um, Hopefully as well they can get Tanaka in there as well, and because Tanaka's only 22 years old, and then they could have a full unification. But it's definitely going to be Kenshiro now. I really don't want, and I don't. I hope that they don't. Heke Butler just waits his turn, lets the two of them go ahead and fight, and we should be in for a really good fight actually. But if it took, his performance wasn't great, but he did what enough. He did what he needed to do. And like I said, I did think he would win, even though because I forgot who it was. I think it was EJ that said he had power, and I said no, he's not. He's only got 13 knockouts from 37 wins, so he's not concussive, and he's an accumulation puncher as well. So I wasn't really sold that he was going to come in there and beat down. I knew Taguchi would have that kind of Hollywood end to the year. So, and that's what's happened.
Reaction to this bout, fellas? Beats Dan the Man, or if you didn't see the fight, that's understandable.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either, but I did see the Kenshiro fight. I just peeped it out. If we can get on that one.
Quickly, your thoughts on Kenshiro, since it looks like with Taguchi winning a possible unification bout down the line in 2018.
I definitely want to see the unification bout. I mean, I think that's something we need to see. I know some people are going to say, well, Kenshiro probably needs more time to develop. But look, here's the thing. Kenshiro is a champion, okay? He's had what, two successful title defenses. So that's out the window now. No more this talk about he needs more time to develop. Once you grab a belt, and I always say this, once you become a champion of any division that you fight in, you are expected to the high standards to defend that title against the best opposition in that division, along with the other champions. So I think now he's got two successful title defenses. Okay, now he's got some experience of becoming a defending champion, as you want to say. I think the Ryochi Taguchi fight is on the horizon for next year, and that would be another big bout in Japan to me. So I think that will definitely needs to happen next year. Now, as far as the fight is concerned, with when he fought up Gilberto Pedroza, I mean, dominated the guy. So to me, it was a bit of a mismatch. That's just my take on it. Good, decent win for Shiro. I definitely want to see him in that unification bout with Taguchi.
Indeed, that Shiro bout took place on the undercard of the Inoue bout yesterday. Kind of go to the main deal here, and I'll let Beat set this up. Kind of behind the scenes, we've been working on kind of a rankings little thing. Provide some backdrop on that, Beats, quickly.
Oh, the rankings. Well,
Yeah.
I've been kind of slacking on that, but I know you've done the lower weights, so I don't know what you've got in store, but I've got to Naoto was supposed to do where do you finish? You finish at feather, don't you?
I finished at junior feather.
Yeah, junior feather. I think he's supposed to start from lightweight. No, yeah, super featherweight, and he'll go up to about probably welter. New year. I'm gonna have to get on it properly, man. Have to get on it properly.
Okay, indeed, and and what I do is with Beats, he reached out to me a couple of years ago. We basically having like a little ranking systems that we're doing around trying to get away from the traditional format of rankings. And my portion is the lower weight rankings, which consist of divisions from 105 to 122 pounds. I'll read mine right quickly. Uh, Dramatic change
Yep.
for me. Uh, for me, number one in my lower weight rankings is Trisakatsuo Rungfosai. You can't deny what he's done. Rungfosai, current WBC junior bantamweight champion, beating who many people felt was the number one pound for pound fighter, Roman Gonzalez, beating him twice. The second fight, he bodied him. So that's my number one pick for lower weight rankings, 105 and 122. Second, for me, I know we kind of talked about him and not in so positive manner. I'm going with Inoue for now. current WBO junior bantamweight champion. He just fought yesterday, disposed of him quite easily. So that's number two. Number three, a guy who we all think very highly of. His last fight out set a world record for knockout. That is Olane Tete. He's a bad dude. WBO bantamweight champion. Uh, Former number one for me. He drops all the way down to number four. Guillermo Rigondeaux. He still has a belt at 122 pounds, but one, he hasn't been active enough, and two, I know it went outside the scope of 122 pounds, but to say that performance against Lomachenko, disappointing to say the least. Number five, a fighter who doesn't get talked about enough, in my opinion, Juan Francisco Estrada, dominant reign at 112 pounds, arguably beat Roman Gonzalez, a prime Roman Gonzalez at 108 pounds. He's set to fight the number one guy in my rankings, Ritsukat Rungvisai, February 24th in Superfly 2 at Inglewood, at the Forum in Inglewood, California on HBO. Number six, a new entry, Diego Higa, WBC flyweight champion, won the belt earlier this year in emphatic, impressive fashion. He just defended the belt, I believe, last month. I think he is really, really up and coming. Former number one drops all the way down to number seven, Roman Gonzalez. I know he's lost twice to Sri Sakat, but I still got him on the list because of what he's done in the past, A. And B, I think Sakat Sor Rungvisai is a lot better than people give him credit for. Number eight, Kosai Tanaka, former champion at 105, 108 pounds. Recently announced he's moving up to 112. Disappointed me in that, just like we disappointed in Anui for moving up quickly. We disappointed in Tanaka for moving up quickly because he was in line for a unification bout against Taguchi, as a matter of fact, to happen today. But he pulled out because of he's having issues making weight. Number nine, Luis Neri, WBC bantamweight champion, took apart Shinzuki Yamanaka. I know it's controversial because of the positive drug test, but there's some circumstances around there. Uh, Very good performance. I think he's a very terrific fighter. Uh, I would love to see him fight Tete. I would love to see him fight Inoue sometime in 2018. But of course, he has his rematch with Yamanaka to get out of the way first. And last, number 10, a new entrance. It changed in the past day. I'm gonna have to go with Ryoshi. So I have to go with Taguchi based on his win today. He's done something that's very rare in the sport. He has more than one belt in a division. So there you go. That's my list. Your reaction, fellas?
Um, I'm kind of well, I would have had a different list, obviously, but I'm shocked at Luis Neri being on there.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, and
I just thought very highly of him before. I just felt he was going to beat Yamanaka all along. I just think he's a really, really talented fighter.
I
The
just
thing
think
is, he has.
I just hope you're
Yeah,
consistent when somebody else, another fighter, tests positive and they claim their innocence. I hope you're consistent on that,
yeah. Here's the
and
thing.
then
I got to comment.
I'd be happy with that.
I got to comment on that because I mean, look, Neri had some somewhat decent wins, but that those decent wins leading up to this fight with Yamanaka, okay. But the problem with that situation is those decent wins with the Yamanaka, a very controversial win at this point, and still keeping his title in that process. That doesn't fly with me. I just don't. I just can't. I can't rank him up there unless he can. The only way we can, in my opinion, to give Neri that rank, that that type of praise, in my opinion, is that he's got to fight over that obscurity. I mean, that controversy. I mean, you can start with Arthur Villanueva, but then eventually take on the other bantamweights like Tete, Rasheem Warren, Ryan Burnett, and so forth. If he could
Well,
get to those
technically,
guys,
Rasheed Warren is not even a bantamweight anymore. He's moved back down to 100. He's moved down to 115.
oh, he's gone back down. Oh, damn, that's not good. Okay, well, let's exclude him then. Anyway, going up then. Let's take give Anyway in replacement of Warren then. If he take on those guys without any type of controversy, then you can say, okay, now he deserves some type of praise. To me, yeah, that win over Yamanaka is very tainted now, and he's got the Arthur Villanueva. Again, that's a start, but again, I just don't think he. I know it's in the record books, but it's just a tainted win at this point. It's
It is,
tainted,
and the thing is, for me,
Yeah.
they're going to fight again. I think he'll
Mhm.
beat him again. I just think he'll
Okay,
beat him again.
Well, I think I agree with you on that, but still at the same time, it's just a tainted win, though. I mean, again, we don't know for sure because again, we've seen how fighters who were getting enhanced getting advantages over these enhanced drugs perform after they've been taken off of it. So we'll again we'll have to see. But yeah, I agree with Charlie on that one. I just think that Neary, that's a shock that I mean, it's your opinion, Mike, but just thinking Neary being in ranking, being a top 10. I
Yeah.
just disagree with that.
No,
I disagree. I have to
sorry, man.
respectfully disagree with that one, man.
Well, I had Ioka, but he retired, and so I had to put someone there. And I just think he's that good. I just think he's that good. I just think the
Mm.
circumstances for me, I cannot. I'm not going to take Luis Ortiz out there because of the circumstances there. I have to be consistent when it comes to bantamweight.
Right.
I think he has to re apply for the WBC rankings. It's something they were talking about. Something, or has he gone? I don't know if he's gone up a weight or down a weight
Well,
because
he's
he's
still
not
a
in the
champion.
rankings.
He's still a champion. He's still the bantamweight champion.
No, no, no. They gave the belt back to Yamanaka.
Oh, they did.
And the
Yeah,
and the deal is they will fight again in
yeah,
2018.
Oh,
yeah.
oh, okay, okay.
As of now, I don't know. Like he's still active. Obviously, he had a fight against Arthur Villanueva.
Villanueva. Yeah.
Villanueva. Yeah, I can't pronounce it, but yeah. Yeah, he's okay. But I don't know what he doesn't seem. I don't know what's happening with him. So
Like I
yeah,
said, that's
I'm not too
controversial
sold
to a
on the
lot
guy.
of folks, but I'm banking on stuff here.
Bit
I'm-
controversy. They're banging on your list, Mike.
I know, right?
Another thing that I
thoughts?
heard, is that he's gone up to super bantamweight, so the fight is in jeopardy.
I hadn't heard
Oh,
that because from what I understand, Yamanaka is in training.
Yeah,
He
he's in
is in
training. Yeah, he's in training. But as of now, well, like I said, I don't know. I've heard two things, but even if you go on BoxRec and you look for him in the bantamweight rankings, you're not going to find him. But if you go to super bantamweight, he's ranked as #1 super bantamweight. #2 is Jesse Magdaleno. So as far as I'm concerned, that seems to me like he's gone up a weight, and maybe they'll be looking to make a fight with Ray Vargas, or Marlon Tapales, somebody like that. That's just from what I'm seeing.
Okay.
He's
Your,
not. He's,
your, your,
am
your
I
thoughts?
right?
I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I'm not sure. So there's an put it this way. There's an asterisk there. There's an asterisk there with far as Neary, given the news you just said. Quickly, your thoughts. Your thoughts, Beats.
On the list, I'm not that knowledgeable as the other guys to challenge it. I'm surprised Ring now so high though. After that loss, I maybe would have had Estrada ahead of him, but I don't know. Neary, maybe that's the only controversy because of the doping thing that he went through. But it seems okay to me. The list seems solid, man. Most people on Facebook seem to think your list is solid. So,
Okay, but yeah, I wanted to put Rigo there by lower, but technically the fight was at a higher weight, so we'll see we'll see what happens when it gets down to 122. And honestly, I want to put Roman lower as well, but again, people are not really giving Srissakat credit enough credit for how good of a fighter he is. Um, Damn, I wish I knew he would have stayed at 115. That would have been a fantastic fight. Fight of the year candidate, no doubt about it. But there it is. Short little show. Just wanted to cover a couple of bouncing over into Japan. Want to get my low weight rankings out. I know it's controversial to many, so I'm expecting backlash. That's okay. I mean, it is what it is. You're not doing anything right if folks don't disagree with you. That's my opinion about it. If everybody agrees with everything you says, something's wrong.
that would be terrible. That'd be absolutely terrible.
Yeah. So, again, like I said, this is going to be a short show because folks got to bounce. Folks got other things on deck. I'll go around the panel here. Boxing Beats and Rhymes for folks who want to talk to Sweet Science or anything else. Let the folks know where they can find you.
Yeah, YouTube Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Facebook, Boxing Beats and Rhymes. Twitter, Boxing Beats and Rhymes.
Charlie Brown from Charlie Brown Boxing. For folks who want to talk to Sweet Science or anything else, let the folks know where they can hit you up.
You can find me on YouTube at Charlie Brown Boxing and Twitter at Forshay Boxing, or you could put in Carlos Blue Forshay and you can find me.
Indeed, indeed. Dan the Man from Dan the Man Boxing. For folks who want to talk to Sweet Science or anything else, let the folks know where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on YouTube, Dan the Man Boxing. There I would have weekly podcasts, and there you can hit me up on the Sweet Science and whatsoever.
Indeed, indeed. Thanks for coming on. I know it's on short notice. For those who want to talk boxing or music or fitness or anything else, you know what it is on Twitter, Brother JR at Brother JR76. If you want to find out all things regarding Pound for Pound Boxing Report, the blog page is the place to go to, P4P Boxing Report, .wordpress.com. Check the links on the right of the page for the links for the channels on and pages on Facebook, G+, YouTube, Tumblr, Twitter. Also links to where to listen to Pound for Pound Boxing Report on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Stitcher Radio, Player FM for the folks in the UK, as well as Mixcloud. Again, thanks to Boxing Beats and Rhymes, thanks to Charlie Brown Boxing, thanks to Dan the Man. Special short episode, Pound for Pound Boxing Report. We will see you in sometime in 2018. Everybody have a good evening, good night, and Happy New Year.
No problem, man.
Happy New Year.
No problem. Happy New Year, everybody.